Welcome back to another explainer. Today, we're cracking open a brand new, highly classified file, the Great Energy Shapeshifter Detective Case, and we're zeroing in on the seesaw secret. I'm really pumped to unpack this with you today, because we're going to look closely at the fascinating physics of energy. We'll see how everyday mechanical tools are actually hiding in plain sight as incredible energy transformers. Honestly, it completely changes how you look at the physical world around you. Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. The Heavy Box Mystery. Every great detective story starts right at the scene of the crime. For our case, just picture our protagonist, a tiny detective staring up at an absolutely giant, impossibly heavy box, sitting smack in the middle of the room. It's a complete roadblock. Our detective literally cannot budget with just their bare hands. So how does a tiny detective actually lift a giant box? I really want you to think about this for a second. We all have physical limitations, right? There's only so much force we can output on our own. So how have humans, throughout history, managed to pull off these massive, difficult tasks so efficiently? How do we bypass our own biology to move mountains or, a giant box? Which brings us straight to Section 2, the seesaw secret. So our tiny detective starts looking around the scene for clues, desperate for absolutely anything that might help solve this massive problem. And they find just two simple things lying right there on the ground, a longboard and a rock. That's it. But when our clever detective puts them together, carefully balancing that longboard right over the rock, they form a lever. By setting up this lever, they've just built a mechanical solution to lift that giant box. I know, it might look like a simple playground toy, but scientifically speaking, it's literally a piece of advanced problem-solving technology. And that takes us to Section 3, Energy Shapeshifters Explained. To really grasp the mind-blowing science here, let's bring in our case expert, Sparky. Sparky steps onto the scene to explain exactly what that lever is doing to the laws of physics. Sparky introduces this awesome concept of an energy shapeshifter, or a transformer. We'll just call it a TF for short. A shapeshifter is basically a mechanical tool that actually changes the shape of energy. It makes it stronger or faster by altering the scale of a push or a pull. What Sparky is telling us is that these everyday tools let us take a minor physical effort, like a small push, and magically transform it into a massive, powerful force, a big push. The energy doesn't just appear out of thin air. It literally just shifts its shape. Let's move to and see how this builds systematically in 3 easy steps. Step 1. We start with a tiny push from our tiny detective pressing down on the board. Step 2. That energy travels right through the long lever. And step 3. It results in a huge, big lift. By simply changing the scale of the push using that tool, the heavy box goes right up. The tool essentially did all the heavy lifting for us by shifting the shape of the detective's energy. It's just remarkably efficient. Moving right along to Section 4, the bicycle gear clue. So, we've solved the heavy box mystery, but Sparky actually has another piece of everyday evidence to show us. You see, this physics concept doesn't just apply to lifting stubborn heavy objects. Energy shapeshifters can also be used to drastically increase speed. Think about a machine most of us probably have sitting out in the garage right now, and this brilliantly illustrates the exact same principle, just applied a little differently. Your input is a minor physical effort. You pedal slowly. But look at the output. The wheels spin incredibly fast. The bicycle gears act as the shapeshifter in this scenario. They take that minor effort of a slow, steady pedal and transform it into a high-speed output. Gears are essentially just circular levers, shifting the shape of your energy to make you move way faster than you ever could on foot. Finally, Section 5. Case closed. We've gathered the clues, consulted our expert Sparky, and successfully proven the existence of these mechanical shapeshifters. But before we put the official stamp on this file, let's apply what we've learned. If you had to lift something super heavy right now, would you want a long lever or a short one? Think back to our detective's tiny push earlier. The longer the board, the more room you have to shift that energy, transforming that tiny push into an incredibly massive lift. So you would absolutely want the long lever to get the biggest mechanical advantage. So the crucial point is this. Tools and machines can change the size of a push or pull. This is really our ultimate learning goal for the entire case. Whether it's a simple lever made out of a board and a rock, or the brilliantly complex gears on your bicycle, these simple instruments manipulate energy to perform difficult tasks for us efficiently. They don't create energy out of nothing. They just act as clever translators, turning our small human physical efforts into giant mechanical results. Which brings us to the end of our explainer today. But, the investigation doesn't actually stop here. What other shapeshifters are hiding in plain sight in your own room right now? Do you have scissors on your desk? Maybe a door handle? Or a pair of pliers in a drawer? I challenge you to look around your space with the eager eyes of a detective. You are surrounded by machines designed to change the shape of your energy. Go find them, figure out exactly how they shift your push or pull, and keep on learning.